Move the piece, coffee girl. Or are you waiting for permission the way you wait for tips? Reginald Shaw leans across the chessboard, Gucci cufflinks blazing under diner fluorescence. His voice drips syrupy contempt loud enough for every smartphone camera. 5 minutes or sweetheart. Show us if that pretty little head can count to 60. Laughter ripples through his entourage. Livestream comments spike. Shaw flicks his king like a bellhop buzzer. Beat me and I'll toss you rent money. Lose, and you scrub my table on your knees while the internet watches. Thunder rumbles over the neon-drenched streets as Friday night pours into Roscoe's diner. Inside, the air smells of burnt coffee and fryer grease. Somewhere in the corner, a travel-sized chessboard clicks shut, sharp, arrogant, like a gun being cocked. You can almost feel the tension before you see him. Reginald Shaw strides in, silk suit bone dry despite the rain, entourage laughing half a step behind. Phones are already out recording. 5 million followers expect spectacle, and he feeds them drama the way Romans once fed lions. He scans the room for amusement and lands on her. Lana Brooks, 26, hair tucked beneath a plain black bandana, balances 3 plates and a pitcher of cola. Her sneakers squeak as she glides to table 7, flashing the practiced smile that turns spare change into crumpled bills. Her universe is small, overdue rent and her little brother's tuition letters stacked on the fridge. Shaw's eyes fix on the night tattoo on her wrist, a chess piece, ink faded by years of dish soap. Interest peaks, content found. He raises his voice so the whole diner hears. Hey, waitress, you know what this is? He slaps the folded board onto the counter. The crack echoes like thunder. Heads jerk. Lana steps closer. Looks like a travel chess set, sir. A teenager tilts her phone. Live stream light blinks on. Number sign checkmate. The help scrolls across screens worldwide. Shaw grins. Here's the deal. 1 game. If you win, I tip $1,000. If I win, you bust my friend's tables free. On your knees. Capiche? Murmurs ripple. The manager starts to step in, then remembers his mortgage and melts into the kitchen. Heat crawls up Lana's cheeks, but she inhales. 4 counts in, 4 out. The breathing pattern her father taught during endgames. I'm on shift, sir. Scared? Shaw purrs, drawing out the word like silk over a blade. Phones rise for a better angle. Someone whistles. Lana sets the plates on a tray stand, wipes her hands on her apron, and touches the tattoo. Her father's voice echoes. Control the center. He'd been state champion once, back when newspapers still covered chess. I'm not scared, she hears herself say, but my break's only 15 minutes. Shaw laughs, grand. 15 it is. Blitz. He taps a phone timer. Pieces scatter across the board with careless confidence. He plays white, of course. Pawn 2 of 4. Classic, aggressive. Lana sits opposite, fingertips brushing the black pieces like greeting old friends at a funeral. Every camera lens feels like a rifle scope. She mirrors with pawn 2 of 5. Solid, unremarkable. The chat floods. LOL, she copied him. Watch her crash. Rich dude, flex incoming. Lana isn't reading comments. She sees lanes, diagonals, invisible arrows her dad once traced in sidewalk dust. The open sign buzzes overhead like a broken semaphore. Move 3. Shaw feints a bishop, bragging about Sicilian theory he half remembers from an airport magazine. Lana counters quietly. Timer reads 13:47. Even the cook leans over the pass-through window, riveted. At 12:02, Shaw starts trash talking. Didn't know chess was on the kids' menu, sweetheart. Laughter ripples. Lana's pawn structure looks timid, until she castles queenside, launching both rooks down open files. Gasps. A whisper. She plays. Flashback flickers. 10-year-old Lana at a community center tournament, her father guiding her tiny hand over pieces, promising that strategy is hope wearing armor. 11 minutes left. Shaw trades queens to simplify, believing poverty equals predictability. He is wrong. Lana's knights weave an invisible net. The board grows claustrophobic for white. Camera tight on Shaw's jaw. Sweat beads. The internet jeers. Rich boy sweating lull. 8:59. Lana's phone buzzes. Her brother texts, "You good?" She doesn't glance. Shaw slams a rook, Lana's water glass trembles, spilling across her order pad, ink bleeding like night into riverbanks. She resets. Surgeon calm. 6:02. She forks Shaw's king and rook. First wound. The diner erupts. Fry cook whoops. We hush the audio a beat, letting the taste of victory seep but not bloom. Shaw snarls. Fluke! Lana answers with the faintest smile, and the live stream freezes on that frame. The calm of someone who's been underestimated her whole life. 3:30, pieces thin. Lana yields a bishop, ripping open Shaw's kingside. Viewers grip phones tighter. 1:14, check announced. Shaw's only move prolongs agony. 0:27, Lana's knight hovers over 7. Memory flashes. Hospital monitors beeping like chess timers. Her father's last whisper. Finish what you start, kiddo. She plants the knight. The diner holds its breath. Clock hits 00. Blackout. Voice lowers. You just watch the board tilt. But the game's far from over. He called her a waitress. Now the world might call her something entirely different. The lights snap back. Pieces lie where the battle froze. But only one king still breathes. Reginald Shaw's timer blinks a bleeding red 0. Lana's timer shows 6 silent seconds. An eternity in blitz. Checkmate by time or by board, it doesn't matter. Defeat is defeat. For half a heartbeat, the diner forgets how to inhale. Then someone whoops, piercing the hush like a bell at a prize fight. Phones jerk upward. The chat on Shaw's live stream scrolls in a mad blur. Waitress wins. Queen Lana. Money can't buy skill. 1,000 laughing emojis drown out his curated image in real time. Shaw's face twitches. He wanted a meme. He got one. His entourage backs away as if failure might be contagious. He tries a smirk, but it warps halfway, caught between disbelief and fury. The camera on his phone is still rolling. Red dot, accusing. Too many witnesses to spin the story now. He sweeps an arm across the table. Plastic pieces clatter to the floor, scattering like teeth. Coffee splashes onto his $1,000 shoes. The live stream gasps, then roars approval. Rage clips make better viral loops than wins anyway. Lana flinches at the noise, but she doesn't step back. She bends, calmly gathering the fallen pawns. Careful, she says, voice steady. They're small, but they matter. A nearby college kid shouts, "Mic drop!" Laughter ricochets off chrome and tile. Shaw's cheeks ignite crimson. He rounds on Lana, voice a serrated whisper. You think you proved something? You're still nothing but a waitress. Right now, she answers, placing the king upright on the board. I'm the waitress who checkmated you. The line detonates across the diner. Even the neon sign in the window seems to buzz louder. Cameras flash. Someone in a booth pounds the table chanting, "Play her again!" Double or nothing. Others follow, stamping feet until syrup bottles rattle. Shaw's PR sense kicks in. Not the calm, calculated kind, but the animal panic of a brand in freefall. His phone pings. 2 sponsorship managers, 1 attorney, 1 call me now from his social media chief. He stuffs it in his pocket like a hot coal. He forces a grin that doesn't reach his eyes. All right, he declares. Best 2 out of 3. Let's give the fans a show. No, Lana says gently. My break is over. The refusal slices cleaner than any victory pose. It denies him narrative control. She steps away, lifts her order pad, and glides toward table 4, where a toddler bangs a spoon. Business as usual. The audience loves it. A tidal swell of applause rises, not for chess, but for backbone. Shaw's hand hangs midair, still reaching for a rematch that will never happen. Cameras track him like hungry wolves. Somewhere far off, thunder grumbles again. He grabs a fistful of crumpled cash, bills meant to be a victorious tip, and slams them on the counter. Here, take your precious 1,000. She looks at the wad, then at him. Tips are earned, she says, voice low but microphone clear in the hushed diner. Not flung like scraps. A collective, ooh, ripples. Shaw's jaw works, words caught like fish bones. He pockets the money with shaking fingers and storms toward the exit. Door chimes jingle a mock farewell. A gust of rain-soaked wind follows him out. But the eyes of the internet do not. Inside, the feed is still live. Now starring Lana. Comments flood. Who is she? Sign her up. Netflix doc when? View count rockets past 600K. In the kitchen window, the cook wipes a tear of pride with a grease-stained towel and flashes Lana a thumbs up. She exhales, palms flat on the counter to keep from trembling. Her phone vibrates again. A text from her brother. Saw everything. I'm so proud. Another ping. This time an unknown number. ESPN Daily wants an interview. Call ASAP. Her heart somersaults. She pockets the device and forces herself back on shift. Plates don't carry themselves, and tuition bills won't wait for viral fame. Minutes later, the diner door opens once more. Not Shaw. A silver-haired woman in a tailored coat steps in, carrying an umbrella carved like a bishop. She moves straight to Lana. I'm Ellen Vargas, she says, accent thin as ice. Grandmaster, 4-time U.S. champion. I watched that massacre live. We're hosting a televised charity match next week. She hands over a business card embossed with a gold rook. I want you at board 1. Lana blinks. Steam coils from mugs, framing the moment like stage lights. She tries to speak, only air escapes. Vargas smiles. Think it over. Call me tomorrow. She taps the card, then leaves as quietly as she arrived. The cook whistles long and low. The college kid in the corner mouths bored. 1. As though tasting champagne for the first time. Lana grips the card until it warms to her skin. Outside, Shaw's limousine fishtails angrily into traffic, taillights fading like the last glow of sunset. In its wake, opportunity hangs thick in the diner's fluorescent haze. She returns to her tables, head high, eyes shining with something fiercer than relief. Possibility. 8 more hours till sunrise, and her world has already tilted on its axis. The diner's neon lights fade behind Lana like a receding tide as she steps into the rain-slick parking lot. In her fist, Grandmaster Vargas's card feels heavier than any tray she has ever carried. Thunder pops overhead, but inside Lana's chest a different storm brews. Equal parts disbelief and electric thrill. She unlocks the dented Civic she's been nursing since college. On the passenger seat sits a beat-up chess clock, face cracked, a relic of her father's coaching days. She runs a thumb across the glass, watching the seconds tick nowhere. How many nights had Dad stayed up with her, replaying Grand Prix attacks on cereal box boards? Board 1, she mouths, like testing a foreign language. Her phone lights up again. Channel 7 wants comment. BuzzFeed, Waitress checkmates billionaire. ESPN schedule draft. She silences it, starts the engine, and lets the wipers drum a steady metronome. Outside, Roscoe's neon flickers, then steadies, as if offering a final nod. Back at her one-bedroom apartment, she cracks the door quietly. Little brother Jordan is long past curfew, but his desk lamp glows. He sits hunched over practice sats, headphones in. The moment he sees her, the chair skids back. Sis, you roasted that man. He attempts an overhead high five. She laughs, pulling him into a hug. Reality floods in. Rent, tuition, groceries. Still waiting tomorrow. But tonight there's a window, and the world is looking in. Jordan grabs the old board from the closet and flips it open on the coffee table. Show me how you trapped him. She hesitates, then arranges the pieces. They replay the game move by move. Jordan's eyes widen at the queen sacrifice. You wanted him to chase it. Sometimes, Lana says, sliding a knight, people see what they expect to see. She taps his forehead lightly. You make them look somewhere else, then strike where it hurts. Jordan's grin softens. Dad would be proud. The name hangs in the air. She exhales slowly. Yeah, he would. Morning breaks in paparazzi flashbulbs. Reporters line the sidewalk outside Roscoe's before dawn. Lana arrives early, hoodie up, but lenses still click. Questions fly. Will you turn pro? What's your ELO? Is it true Shaw offered you hush money? She ducks inside. Maria, the owner, thrusts a free latte at Lana, eyes huge. You're trending on Good Morning America, hun. The cook peeks through the pass-through, waving a silver spatula like a trophy. Lana's shift blurs. Between pancake refills, she answers emails from chess federations and brand reps. A lawyer from a nonprofit offers to review contracts pro bono. She texts Vargas, I accept. Minutes later, the reply pings. Training starts tonight. Hotel room comped. Bring your game, not your uniform. Her stomach flips. Not from nerves, but from the seismic shift under her feet. She clocks out early for the first time in years. The training hall smells of cedar and ambition. Tall windows overlook the city skyline. Sunset bleeding tangerine. Grandmaster Vargas waits at an oak table. Multiple boards prepared. Cameras are forbidden. This is sacred territory. Welcome to the deep end, Vargas says, gesturing to a seat. You've raw tactical flair. We need stamina, endgame polish, clock discipline. Lana nods, rolls her shoulders. Clock discipline she has. Years of blitz between serving burgers prove that. Endgames, she swallows. Show me where I bleed. For 3 hours they spar. Vargas plays openings Lana hasn't studied in a decade. Caro-Can, Benoni, King's Gambit. Lana's pawns twist into knots. Knights arrive late. Her king sometimes wanders like a drunk tourist. Yet flashes of brilliance pierce the noise. Rook swerves, tactical sacks. After each game, Vargas marks notes. Good instincts, tightened calculation. Break time. Vargas pours herbal tea, steaming tendrils like thought bubbles. Your mind runs ahead, but your foundation is cracks and duct tape. Build it, or Shaw's people will tear you apart before you reach the board. She slides a binder across. Press clippings of Shaw's meltdown, sponsor exits, mockery memes. On the last page is a headline. Billionaire vows revenge at charity gala. Lana's pulse quickens. He's coming. Of course. Ego rarely stays home. Vargas's eyes gleam. He lost face on his own live stream. He'll claw it back however he can. Psych tricks, media stunts, maybe even trying to rattle you seconds before the game. Lana drums fingers on the binder. Let him rattle. I'm done shaking. Meanwhile, on the other side of town, Reginald Shaw sits in a glass-walled penthouse as PR consultants toss phrases like damage control and narrative pivot. One advisor suggests a tearful apology video. Another proposes donating chess sets to inner-city schools. Shaw waves them off. I don't pay you for pity plays, he snaps. Find me leverage. Someone mentions old diner health code violations, a zoning fine Lana's employer once fought. We leak it, Shaw muses, hope sparking. Make her the face of unsanitary kitchens. Watch sponsors flee. He pinches the bridge of his nose, eyes bloodshot from scrolling hate comments. Every meme stings. Checkmate by a waitress. He slams the laptop shut. She humiliated me. I end this. Dark clouds roll outside the floor-to-ceiling window, mirroring the storm brewing within. Midnight. Lana returns home, exhaustion a weight across her shoulders, but her mind hums. She drops onto the couch beside Jordan, who's nodding off over calculus. She nudges him awake. Look, she whispers. She holds up Vargas's binder, flipping to a fresh page. Her new training schedule. Tactics 6 to 8 a.m., endgames 4 to 6 p.m., sparring nightly. Jordan whistles low. Sis, that's brutal. She smiles, adrenaline stitching her fatigue. Champions aren't born, Jay. They clock in. They bump fists, a vow made wordless. As the lights dim, another notification buzzes. A social media tag from a stranger. A digital poster of Lana wearing a cartoon crown, caption Our Queen's Gambit. Thousands of retweets follow. Her world, once measured in table numbers, now spans hashtags and broadcast slots. But the board is still 64 squares, and her next opponent may not be across the table. He could be lurking in headlines, in whispers, in sabotage. She closes her eyes, picturing the center squares. Control the center, control your life. Tomorrow, training. Next week, board 1. And somewhere out there, Reginald Shaw oils the gears of vengeance. Game on. Spotlights rake the ballroom of the Park Avenue Hilton, sweeping over tuxedos, sequined gowns, and rows of broadcast cameras stacked like skyscrapers. A velvet rope hush hangs in the air, part opera, part gladiator pit. In the center, a single table waits beneath a halo of white light. 2 chairs, 1 board, 64 squares separating destiny from déjà vu. Lana steps onto the dais, pulse keeping tempo with the countdown clock projected on a 20-foot screen. 9:59. 9:58. She wears a midnight blue blazer, collar starched, bandana swapped for soft curls framing steady eyes. No apron tonight, just resolve. In her jacket pocket sits a tiny rookie pawn her father once carved from oak. She touches it like a trigger of calm. Across the stage, Reginald Shaw emerges to thunderous applause, paid for, if whispers are true. His designer suit is charcoal, tie blood red, smile laser white. He raises a hand, milking the roar, then takes his seat without a glance at Lana. But the camera boom swoops close enough to capture a flicker of clenched jaw. The arbiter clears his throat. Gentle blitz, 5 minutes each, no increments. Charity proceeds fund underprivileged youth chess programs. He nods toward Shaw's sideboard, an oversized check already signed for $2 million. Viewers worldwide know the subtext. If Shaw loses again, the real price will be his pride. Players shake. Shaw extends 2 fingers. Lana accepts, grip firm. Sparks, invisible, arc between them. The audience leans forward as if one collective spine. The clocks slap. Shaw opens with a 4 again. Deja vu, but dripping arrogance. Lana breathes, pawn a 5. The rematch begins. Boardside commentators murmur in hushed excitement. She chose symmetry, bold after last week's upset. Move 4. Shaw launches an unfamiliar Danish gambit, sacrificing pawns for tempo. Gasps ripple. He's studied, prepped lines meant to drag her into theoretical minefields. Lana, guided by Vargas's drills, declines the gambit, steering into quieter waters she's mastered over sleepless nights. 2 minutes evaporate. Shaw is up a pawn, yet down 30 seconds. Sweat beads at his hairline. HDTV lenses devour it in real time. Then sabotage strikes. A blinding pop. Flashbulb overload from the press pit. Cameras tilt. The crowd jolts. Shaw jerks, knocking over his iced water. Right across Lana's score sheet, and worse, her half of the board. Pawns skid like spilled salt. The arbiter hustles in, shouting for order. Shaw's entourage leaps with apologies. Faulty strobe. Terrible accident. But in the pit, someone swears they saw a bodyguard trigger it on purpose. Social media will replay the clip in slow motion for days. Lana exhales through her nose, steadies trembling fingers, resets pieces from photographic memory. Years of diner chaos have given her iron patience. The arbiter offers additional time. Shaw smirks, expecting acceptance. Lana shakes her head. Resume clocks. Gasps again. Respect swells. Game restarts. Shaw, rattled that his ploy failed, blunders a knight. Commentator squeals, "That's suicide at this level?" Chat explodes. Number nightmare for Shaw. But tension spikes at 0:52 on Lana's clock. Shaw unleashes a vicious fork, queen skewering rook and king. The ballroom holds its breath. Lana's eyes shudder. A memory surfaces. Her father's voice. When the board burns, look for ash that hides embers. She slides her bishop, an unorthodox retreat. Viewers groan, fearing collapse, until the next beat reveals a latent pin, trapping Shaw's queen like prey in a snare. 20 seconds later, forced exchange leaves him material down, in position suffocating. 30 seconds on both clocks now. Hands blur. Pieces clack like hail. Lana's knight infiltrates F7-echo of the diner victory. Shaw's king reels. 10 seconds. Lana's finger hovers. She lands rookie 8++. Check. Shaw's only move is a panicked king sidestep. 3 seconds. Lana whispers, "For dad," and slams knight G6. Double check discovered. Shaw's clock, 0000. Her clock, 001. Board position a heartbeat from mate. Silence detonates into thunder. Commentators shout over each other. Viewers surge past 10 million live. The arbiter thrusts Lana's arm skyward. Shaw stares, hollow-eyed, as though every camera lens were a dagger. Flash, this time legitimate, as photographers immortalize the moment. Waitress turned warrior crowned by white stage lights. Shaw stands abruptly. A microphone catches his hissed words. "This isn't over." He storms off stage, PR team scrambling like chess pieces knocked mid-game. In the wings, he shoves a cameraman. The clip will loop on morning news. Center stage, Vargas appears, placing the giant check in Lana's hands. She leans to the mic. Talent lives everywhere. Opportunity doesn't. Tonight, that changes. The ballroom rises in ovation. Tear-lined, Lana mouths thank you to the rafters, then presses the wooden pawn to her lips. Backstage, she's engulfed by reporters. One question slices above the din. Lana, what will you do first? She smiles, eyes glossy. Pay my brother's tuition, then buy 1,000 boards for kids who can't afford dreams. Across Manhattan, Shaw retreats to his penthouse, smashing a crystal decanter in fury. Screens glow with headlines he can't escape. Checkmate Redux. Shaw falls again. In the diner where it all began, night shift staff dance between tables, live streaming the victory on mounted TVs. Patrons chant, Lana, Lana, as if she could hear them miles away. Yet amid celebration, a shadow gathers. Leaked documents hint at a coordinated smear campaign targeting Lana's past. Health code hits, financial slips, ready to drop. The king may be toppled, but counter moves hover in inboxes like poison pawns. For Lana, tonight tastes of triumph. Tomorrow may bring another board, larger and darker. But for now, she closes her eyes and savors the roar. Proof that a diner waitress can rewrite the rules, piece by piece. Dawn splashes gold across Harlem's brickwork, but the sun feels more like a spotlight than a blessing. Lana wakes to the buzzing chorus of her phone. Mentions, tags, urgent voicemails. Victory night hasn't cooled. It's roared into a fevered morning. On TV, anchors loop the final seconds of the gala match. One split screen shows Shaw shattering a decanter. Another shows Lana's humble grin. Scroll bars proclaim, Waitress Grandmaster topples billionaire, again. Sponsors tweet celebratory emojis. In Queen Lana still trends at #1. She should be floating, but a different notification pings. A tabloid headline. Neon red clickbait. Viral chest darling worked in filthy diner. Endangered patrons. Lana blinks, scrolls. Photos of Roscoe's kitchen, grease-splattered, bins overflowing, captioned exclusive leaks. Another article screams about unpaid parking tickets, an eviction notice, a college loan default. Some of it's half-truth, some outright fiction, all time-stamped midnight, minutes after Shaw fled the ballroom. The smear campaign has begun. Jordan rushes in holding a cereal bowl. They're lying, right? His eyes plead. She forces a steady nod. She dials Maria, the diner owner. The older woman answers in a whisper. Health inspectors just showed up, cameras in tow. They're quoting anonymous complaints. Pots clang in the background. Panic thickens each clang. They could shut me down today. Heart pounding, Lana grabs her blazer. I'm coming. Roscoe's sidewalk is a minefield of news vans and uniformed inspectors. Big yellow signs, closed pending investigation. Drape the windows like funeral bunting. Maria stands outside, arms folded, jaw trembling, but defiant. When Lana arrives, reporters pivot, microphones snapping toward her. One shouts, Lana, did you knowingly serve food from a hazardous kitchen? Another, are tuition bills driving you to cut corners? The insinuations slice deeper than Shaw's insults ever did. Lana steps onto a milk crate, gaze sweeping the crowd. This diner feeds our neighborhood. We play by the rules. Someone with a bruised ego is feeding you lies. The statement is calm, but her fingers dig crescents into the crate's plastic. Inside, inspectors photograph every surface, searching for infractions. A familiar fry cook whispers, they're cherry-picking. Grease here, a crack there. Nothing beyond routine. Still, the optics gnaw. Her phone vibrates. Vargas. Lana ducks into the alley. Your win opened doors, the Grandmaster says, voice tight. ESPN is offering a 3-match series, primetime, but their legal team needs assurance you aren't under investigation. 48 hours to clear your name, or the deal stalls. The clock starts again, only no chessboard in sight. Jordan, tech-savvy and fueled by protective fury, assembles an impromptu war room in their apartment. He and his coding friend May scrape metadata from the leaked kitchen photos. A watermark surfaces, Lysander Media Group, Shaw's boutique PR firm. May traces the upload path to a disposable cloud server purchased yesterday, billed to a shell company that lists Shaw's penthouse address. Proof. But proof needs amplification. They forward the packet to Tanya Ruiz, an investigative journalist who covered corruption at City Hall last year. 10 minutes later, Ruiz calls Lana. I can run this, but Shaw's lawyers will bury me unless it's bulletproof. Can you go on camera? Live at 6? Yes, Lana replies without hesitation, though her stomach drops. Back at Roscoe's, Maria wields cleaning spray like holy water, determined to pass the surprise inspection that's now tomorrow at dawn. Local regulars arrive with buckets and gloves. Retired teachers, taxi drivers, that same teenager from the first game. They scrub, repaint, replace chipped tiles. A time lapse would show a community armoring itself in citronella and elbow grease. Word spreads online. Her clean for Lana trends by mid-afternoon. Someone launches a GoFundMe for new kitchen equipment. Donations soar. But Shaw's counter moves keep coming. A slick video surfaces. Shaw announcing a donation to safe dining initiatives, painting himself the champion of public health. The comment section, half bot, half hired, praises his responsibility. It garners 1 million views in 2 hours. In a dim conference room downtown, Lana meets Ruiz. Cameras roll unfiltered. Ruiz presents the chain of shell companies, the forged timestamps, the metadata breadcrumb trail. Do you claim this was orchestrated by Mr. Shaw? She asks. I claim facts, Lana says, voice calm but eyes ablaze. And facts point one direction. Ruiz nods, segments the evidence for prime time. Lana's interview airs at 6:01. Within minutes, social media pivots. Number sign Shaw Shady leaps atop the trending list. Lawyers debate defamation. Pundits dissect digital footprints. A whistleblower email lands in Ruiz's inbox at 8:17 p.m. Internal memos from Lysander Media. Objective: tarnish subject reputation, exploit health code angles. Budget approved by R. Shaw. The sender unsigned, address untraceable. Ruiz publishes the trove, citing source protected under journalistic privilege. Networks pounce. Shaw's corporate board calls an emergency meeting. Investors hiss about ethics clauses. Midnight finds Lana back in the diner, exhausted, mopping the last suds from gleaming tiles. Maria flicks on new LED kitchen lights, beaming. Inspector comes in 6 hours, she whispers. We're spotless. Jordan bursts in, waving his phone. ESPN just reinstated the offer. They saw the expose. For the first time since the gala, Lana lets herself smile fully. But triumph tastes tempered. She's learning victories breed backlash, each larger than the last. She steps outside. The street is quiet, rain misting under lamp glow. A city bus whooshes by, its side plastered with a digital billboard. Her face crowned by a chess rook. Tagline, courage is a move. She shakes her head, half amused, half terrified. Phone rings, unknown ID. She answers. A low voice. Congratulations, Ms. Brooks. You've won again. Enjoy it while you can. Click. She stares at the dark screen, heartbeat drumming. She knows that voice. Shaw's legal counsel, a shark with perfect diction. Inside, Jordan switches the diner's TV to a late-night financial show. A headline scrolls. Whistleblower emerges from Shaw Enterprises. SEC opens preliminary review. Storm clouds gather around the billionaire's empire. Yet Lana feels no glee, only resolve. Her father taught her the game ends when the king falls. But life isn't so neat. Tomorrow brings a health inspection, a new contract, and whatever counterstrike Shaw conjures next. She pockets the little wooden pawn. In the pre-dawn quiet, she repeats the mantra shaping her days. Control the center, control your life. Morning breaks crisp and bright, but headlines blow colder than November wind. SEC subpoenas, Shaw Enterprises executives. Cable news panels circle like vultures, dissecting every forged timestamp, every shell company receipt. Share price plunges. Commentators wonder aloud if one chess match could topple a titan. Lana reads the crawl at a subway kiosk, paper coffee warming her palms. Half the commuters recognize her now. Some nod, some whisper. She offers polite smiles but guards her focus. Today, the ESPN deal goes formal. She walks the last blocks to Midtown Studios with shoulders square and a binder under one arm. Legal notes, brand clauses, and a handwritten list of demands. Free youth clinics, equal pay clauses, community scholarships. If they want her story, they'll sign to her terms. Inside the marble lobby, suits hustle like pieces in a blitz. An assistant leads her to a glass conference room where network execs wait beside Grandmaster Vargas. Lana's stomach flutters, but Vargas gives a nearly imperceptible nod. You earn this? She lays out her conditions. The eldest exec raises a brow. Ms. Brooks, you're untested on prime time. These asks are steep. Lana meets his gaze. My first televised game hit 10 million live viewers. Silence. Pages rustle. One by one, they initial every line. At 10:47 a.m., Lana signs, pen trembling just a little. It's official. A 3-game series, championship-level purse, and a mentorship program funded by ad revenue. She exhales, lightheaded. Phone buzzes before she can pocket it. Unknown number. She hesitates, answers. Reginald Shaw's voice rasps, edges frayed. Congratulations. You leveraged your 15 minutes well. Make it quick, Mr. Shaw. I'm offering settlement. A pause thick with pride swallowing acid. 10 million. You withdraw all allegations. You do not mention me again. She laughs, quiet, disbelieving. You tried to destroy my community to save face. You think money can rewrite that? He exhales, a shaky hiss. Walk away, Brooks. The game's bigger than you know. Chess has clear rules, she says. Try them sometime. She ends the call. Vargas watches curiously. Lana pockets the phone. Distraction, she says. I'm done tilting at ghosts. Afternoon sun streaks across Roscoe's diner, now gleaming like a new penny. A giant A health-grade decal crowns the door. Cameras flash as Lana steps inside. Patrons burst into applause. Maria hugs her so tight Lana's ribs creak. The fry cook flips an omelet shaped like a rook and slides it over, laughing. Jordan stands on a stool, live streaming. Victory breakfast for the champ. Views climb. Hearts flutter up the screen. Lana thanks everyone, tears pricking. She never thought sanitizing grease traps at 3 a.m. would lead to this kind of confetti. Her phone vibrates. Text from Ruiz. Board of Shaw Enterprises convening 5 p.m. Rumor, CEO ouster vote. Lana stares. Jordan leans in. Karma and Endgame? She answers quietly. Maybe stalemate. Not my move. 3 p.m., Midtown. Lana meets a crew of teens from Harlem Prep, first participants in her youth clinic. They huddle around, folding boards in a studio rehearsal room. She teaches them the concept of zugzwang, moments when any move worsens your position. A lanky boy raises a hand. Like when life traps you? Exactly, she says. But remember, stalemate isn't defeat. Stay patient. Look for the sliver of escape. Words echo more for her than them. 5 o'clock. Skyline bruises purple. In Shaw's penthouse, tension simmers. Board members dial in. Lawyers detail mounting liabilities. SEC probe. Advertiser exits. Class action whispers. Shaw paces, phone in hand, palms damp. He insists the smear campaign was rogue PR. No directive from him. A director interrupts. Metadata places authorization codes under his personal login. Votes cast. 17 ayes, 1 abstention. Shaw removed as CEO, effective immediately. He stares at the screen as faces wink out, one by one. Power drains from the room like light through shutters. Alone, he grips the crystal king piece from an ornamental board on his bar. He hurls it. The shard lands at his feet, a toppled monarch in miniature. That night, ESPN stages a promo shoot on a dim set. Black void, single spotlight. Lana sits across from Vargas for interview snippets. The director asks, "Greatest lesson chess taught you?" Lana answers slowly. That even a pawn, small, overlooked, can cross the board and become a queen, but only if it keeps moving forward. Cut, crew claps. The director checks the monitor, delighted. They wrap. Lana shoulders her backpack, steps outside into light rain. Paparazzi linger but keep respectful distance now. She spots a lone figure under an awning. Reginald Shaw, no entourage, coat collar up. He approaches. No cameras dare rush. Security holds them back. He stops 3 feet away, rain beating on his lashes. Voice low. They forced me out. You won. Happy? She studies him, shoulders sagged, eyes ringed. Winning isn't watching someone lose. It's seeing change. He laughs bitterly. Change? I'm ruined. Not ruined, she says gently. Checked. She offers her umbrella. He blinks. After a beat, he takes it, stunned. She turns away. Paparazzi photos will show the umbrella handoff. Clickbait for empathy. Some will claim PR stunt. Others will see dignity. Back home, Lana finds Jordan asleep at the table. Chess pieces scattered over homework. She drapes a blanket, then flicks on her desk lamp. She opens a fresh notebook titled Game 2 Prep. Underlines first line, control the center, but she scribbles a new line beneath. Win with grace. The apartment is silent except rain tapping the window and her pen scratching plans. Endgame table bases, opponent research, sponsorship deliverables, clinic lesson outlines. The future spilling in careful moves. Her phone buzzes one last time. Ruiz again. SEC announces formal fraud investigation into Shaw's charitable foundations. The once untouchable titan reduced to a vulnerable king. Lana sets the phone screen down. Not her move anymore. She closes the notebook, presses the wooden pawn between her palms, and lets the city's heartbeat carry her toward morning. The Manhattan skyline shimmers in late summer amber as camera drones sweep over Central Park. Down below, rows of folding tables form a giant outdoor chessboard. Hundreds of kids in bright t-shirts laughing, trading gambits, knocking fists in good-natured stalemate. At the center of the swirl sits Lana Brooks, ponytail tucked through a baseball cap branded "Check Your Move." She glides from board to board, clock simule style, offering whispered tips, celebrating each clever fork like it's a moon landing. The mentorship program she negotiated in her ESPN contract has launched, and the park feels electric with new possibilities. Between boards, she spots Jordan filming on a borrowed rig, live streaming to tens of thousands. Big sis showing rookies the ropes, he narrates proudly. Comments bloom. Wish we had this in Detroit. My daughter starts chess now. Queen Lana strikes again. Each heart icon fuels Lana's smile. An elderly man in a veteran's cap motions her over. His grandson hovers, nervous. Lana kneels, assessing the position. A single knight, awkwardly placed, blocks the boy's last hope. She points gently. Sometimes the piece in your way is actually your biggest chance. Rotate it here. See how the whole board opens? The boy's eyes widen. He makes the move, and the path to mate becomes clear. Cheers erupt when he lands checkmate 3 moves later. Lesson sealed. Across town, headlines continue to spiral around Reginald Shaw. SEC depositions, loss of board seats, former allies flipping for leniency. The umbrella photo of Lana handing him shelter has become an editorial symbol. Compassion offered even to those who sought to crush you. Some pundits call it branding savvy. Others call it grace under fire. Lana keeps her opinion private. Her focus lies elsewhere, on the rook in every child's hand, on the quiet click of a clock starting hope. That evening, ESPN's second primetime match airs. Lana faces Grandmaster Ilya Kovac, a ruthless tactician many predicted would break her streak. But weeks of disciplined training under Vargas bear fruit. Mid-game, Lana squeezes Kovac into a cramped endgame structure. Opposite-colored bishops, a sliver of pawn majority. She maneuvers 62 precise moves before swapping her last pawn for a queen. The commentators lose their minds. The audience holds breath until Kovac extends a resigned hand. Lana's record, 2-0. Yet victory feels different now. Less like fireworks, more like sunrise. Steady, widening, inevitable. Backstage, she finds Vargas wiping proud tears. Your father would be beyond words, the Grandmaster whispers. Lana presses the wooden pawn to her heart. In the weeks that follow, Roscoe's Diner becomes pilgrimage. Tourists order Gambit griddle specials, sit under framed photos of the gala match, and sign a giant board mounted on the wall. Maria hires two new servers, installs a scholarship tip jar. Patrons fill it daily. The city council officially proclaims the diner a local landmark, citing cultural contribution to sportsmanship and integrity. Lana's days oscillate between TV studios, training halls, and community centers. Still, she sets her alarm for dawn runs through Harlem streets, headphones off, letting the city's rhythm anchor her. On those quiet miles, she rehearses life's endgames. How to pivot from underdog to mentor without losing the grit that got her here. How to enlarge the circle so that success feels less like a crown and more like an open gate. One crisp Saturday, Lana returns to the park clinic to find an unexpected face in the crowd. Reginald Shaw, dressed down in jeans and a gray hoodie, holding a beginner's chess set under one arm and a stack of apology letters under the other. Cameras swirl, but he waves reporters away. He approaches Lana slowly, eyes lowered. "I can't erase what I did," he says, voice raspy, "but I can learn why it mattered." He sets the box on a table, flips open the board like a peace flag. "Teach me?" Silence ripples, followed by murmurs. Lana studies him. No entourage, no rehearsed grin. Just a man bereft of ego. She nods once. They sit. She starts with the simplest lesson: center control. Around them, cell phones discreetly capture the unlikely tableau. But for once, the clicks feel unobtrusive, almost reverent. 2 hours pass. Shaw loses gracefully, shakes every child's hand who asks for a selfie, then slips away without press release fanfare. The story still hits evening news, but framed as redemption, not spin. Lana receives flack from some who wanted total ruination. She shrugs. If the game teaches anything, it's that a bad piece can still find a good square with the right guidance. Late that night, Jordan edits footage from the clinic. Laughing kids, gleaming boards, Shaw's humbled shoulders beside Lana's patient grin. He fades in a soft piano track and overlays white text. "We all start as pawns. The real victory is crossing the board together." Post goes viral within hours. The next morning, Lana opens her inbox to find scholarship offers for half the clinic kids, corporate funding pledging years of equipment, elementary school principals requesting programs. The domino effect feels miraculous and brutally logical at once. She made the first move. Now the board rearranges around her. Standing at her apartment window, she watches sunlight ignite high-rise glass. She remembers bussing tables in fluorescent gloom, her father's worn fingers guiding her across cracked boards. The moment Shaw slammed that travel set on the diner counter. Each memory is a square she occupied, some dark, some light, but everyone crucial to reaching this far end of the board. She whispers into the quiet room, "Promotion." Her phone's notification chime breaks the spell. Messages from strangers, spilling gratitude. Teachers in low-income districts streaming her matches during lunch. A single mother who returned to college after watching Lana refuse hush money. A teenager who used chess to stay sober. Each story another pawn edging closer to transformation. Voiceover fades in, gentle but unwavering. Maybe you have felt small. Maybe someone richer, louder, or stronger tried to bang their pieces, claim your squares, shove you off the board. But remember, pawns march forward. One step at a time, they cross storm after storm. And when they reach the other side, board rules declare what life sometimes forgets. The smallest can become the most powerful. If you have ever stared down an opponent bigger than you, an unjust boss, a stacked system, a fear whispering that you're not enough, share your fight in the comments so we can cheer every inch you've gained. And if you believe quiet talent deserves a spotlight, tap that like button so more eyes find the courage hiding in plain sight. Because the game isn't over until every voice makes its move.